Why, yes, that is the sun rising behind me. Hey there, good morning. It's Jason Lynette. It is currently 6:53 a.m. at the time of this video, and I am parked outside of the gym waiting for it to open up before going inside and doing my Saturday morning routine. And I wanted to share this quick video on the concepts of framing and reframing, which the basic idea of this, to unpack the metaphor before I share with you what I want to share with you here, is I want you to imagine an incredible piece of art, but we've put it in a rather junky frame. Well, suddenly now, this incredible piece of art does not have the perceived value of what it truly is. Now, of course, if we take that incredible piece of art, put it in a beautiful, elaborate frame, then it's going to be met with the value, respect, honor, awe, whatever language you want to use, that it ought to have. Now, that's the framework. See what I did there? That's the framework that I want you to have as you hear me share this piece of information, because I don't want you to go to the cynical, negative respect of this, which would be perhaps a rather junky piece of art, something just hastily thrown together, but put into a beautiful frame, presented in a museum, and then shared as if it was supposed to have value when perhaps it doesn't. Yes, art is subjective. So wonderful art inside of a wonderful frame. That's the framework that I want you to have for this. I was listening to a brand new podcast that just came out a couple of days ago, actually. And yes, I do listen to a lot of other podcasts, which is inferring that I actually listen to mine. Yes, I do listen to my own podcast because that's the way that I improve upon it. I listen to it as it launches. I've got an incredible editing team, Audio Adrenaline Studio. They do the edits, and then I listen to it on Thursday just like everybody else. Well, there's someone in the fitness space, in the strength training space, that I've been following for quite some time. He does another podcast called New York Muscle Strength. Anthony Bevilacqua also put out a new program called Pro Barbell Strength. And I share this, and this is not slighting his program in any way, yet there was something that he was presenting in that podcast, specifically on the concepts of what's called daily undulating periodization, which, let me nerd out in this for a moment. It's the concept of one specific weightlifting move, yet working through different rep ranges throughout the week. So the concept of a higher volume earlier in the week, a more strength-based way of trying to hit 1 or 2 reps max, and then later in the week, perhaps somewhere right in the middle, which, from my own personal experience, this is something that really helped me to break through some strength plateaus and just enjoy what I do even more. It's something that the description of it is a little tedious because, again, there's a lot of math. You know, this percentage for this many reps, this percentage for that many reps. And it's a way that sometimes that information can be presented where you may feel the need to. Here's the main point. I see so many people in so many walks of life, whether it's their own passion, whether it's their own hobbies, whether it's their work, feeling the need to apologize for the information that they share. That I know this is going to get tedious, but stick with me here because this is really important. That type of thing. Or, you know, people who are apologizing for something that they're offering of, hey, I'm really sorry that I'm doing one of these Black Friday offers just like everyone else, yet that sort of thing. So the framework, let me give you a simple concept here. Some of you have seen a stage hypnosis show before, I'm sure, where the hypnotist gets people up on stage, gets them to do funny things. And there's many people who do that type of program, and what I'd comfortably share is that depending on the skills of the hypnotist is what often, makes or break how great that program is, whether or not the people up on stage are truly hypnotized. There are some people who have simply memorized a script, and they're simply reciting it to the people on stage, and they're playing it as a numbers game, which is not a numbers game. If you know what you're doing, you can calibrate to those 20 volunteers as if they're 20 individuals. And I've seen some people do this. They apologize to the audience before that moment of hypnotizing the people from the stage to simply say that, hey, this is the boring part, so stick with me, it gets really entertaining after this. Well, if you put that frame around it, then that's what it's going to be, So instead, here's how I do it, which is not to present that my way is the best way to do this, but here's a better way to do it. Now, for those of you in the audience, watch this very carefully, because you're going to be able to observe exactly every strategy that I'm using to deeply guide these incredible volunteers into the right state of hypnosis to give you the best show possible. So buckle up, this is where it gets awesome. And by changing the frame, suddenly now, that's now one of the most entertaining, one of the most interactive parts of my program, rather than the part I'm just trying to rush my way through and, convince the audience that stick with me, it's going to get better after this. No, we can put that frame around all that we do. So I'll give you another quick example inside of a marketing workshop I did recently. It was all on Facebook marketing, which can get extremely tedious in terms of the terminologies and the places to click and run the campaign this way versus that way, optimize this way, optimize that way. And it's the framework that I gave it at the beginning, which what I'm getting at here is don't lie to people, of course, give it the appropriate framework that it deserves. Yet it's where in the opening setup for that presentation, some of this may seem tedious. However, I want you to notice the mechanisms of what I'm going to share with you, because that's where you'll suddenly discover there are markets out there that you can be serving that even you didn't know existed. So suddenly now, there's the framework where people's imaginations are going wild, going, oh, I can do this, I can do that, as opposed to, oh, I'm not a technical person, I'm not a computer person, I can't do that. Let's get rid of that crap. So, it's the framework of how you present something. Now, take note, this is also something you do for yourself. Yes, it is, 6:59 a.m. They're about to open up. And some people would hear of the morning rituals that I have and go, how do you do that? Oh, I'm a zombie in the morning, which I used to be there as well. As opposed to, no, when I start the morning with something successful, that just dominoes the entire rest of my day. So this concept of framing and reframing, how you present information, it also works for yourself as well. Jason Linett, 7 a.m. I'm going to go inside. Have a great day. Frame it up.